night on the south today. Thousands flock through the gates at Christchurch's Addington Raceway for this year's New Zealand Cup Day. Dunedin's newly elected City Council takes a fresh look at reinstating a wooden groin at St Clair Beach. And frustration for Invercargill volunteers after a budding community garden is vandalised for a second time. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Hannah Wilkins. Christchurch's Addington Raceway was heaving today, with thousands of people flocking through the gates for the 2022 Trotton Cup. Colourful fashion and enthusiastic punters poured into the ground from late morning in what for many was a long overdue party.
Frocks, fillies and fashionistas featured at Christchurch's biggest party of the year on Tuesday.
Yeah, check it off my bucket list.
IRT New Zealand Cup Day at Addington Raceway is a big day for the city, attracting more than 15,000 punters. The celebration's even more special, as it's the first time since 2019 that the event's been fully open to the public, following COVID-19 restrictions.
New Zealand's biggest race day, IRT New Zealand Cup, so back with a full crowd after a couple of years of COVID restrictions, in particular last year where we raced behind closed doors.
The annual event is the highlight of the social calendar for many in Christchurch, even if they know little about horse racing. The party spirit beginning early with champagne breakfasts at a number of the city's eateries.
People have been hanging out for this.
Colourful fashions were pulled out of the wardrobes, with classy costumed men, women and couples competing to find the country's best dressed. Another highlight of the day was a parade of champions featuring past winners of the New Zealand Cup.
This is a parade that includes the Crusader Guardian horsemen and a number of other aspects to it, including 3 of our own champions. 3 horses that have won 7 New Zealand Cups between them.
And Christchurch's party atmosphere is set to continue throughout the week. There's more trotting at Addington Raceway this Friday at Show Day, while the Canterbury Jockey Club will be holding races at Riccarton Park on Wednesday and its own New Zealand Cup on Saturday. In Christchurch, the South today.
The 35-year-old man accused of murder of Dunedin man Sean Bewis in Mornington this year can now be named after suppression lapsed. Dunedin builder Lance Moore pleaded not guilty this morning when he appeared in the High Court at Dunedin. His lawyer's planning to make an application for electronically monitored bail. Police believe Sean Bewis and an associate went to the lookout in Mornington on the evening of July 21 to meet someone. They were met by 2 cars, including a red Ford Falcon and a person they weren't expecting. Bewis went on foot towards Eglinton Road, where he was allegedly run down by Moore and died. Moore is set to reappear before the High Court in January for a case review hearing. Planning work around restoring a protective groin at St Clair Beach could restart after the Dunedin City Council voted to commission a new report into the high-profile project.
How much is too much for an experiment? Is it 250k?
Dunedin City Councillors stating their cases for and against a new push by Mayor Jules Raddick to advance planning on possible reinstatement of a sand-trapping groin at St Clair. The motion to commission an urgent report into the cost and timeframes of the project was passed by 11 votes to 4. But councillors spent a lot of time debating the long-standing issues of erosion at the St Clair end of Ocean Beach. Mayor Raddick quoted historical evidence while making his case, citing reports on the success of earlier wooden pole groins built on the site around 1901, 1928 and 1955.
The report said, groins at a total cost of £500, not £20,000, have not only effectively stopped erosion at the foreshore but have built up the beach from 4 to 6 feet over an area of many acres.
There was also newer evidence presented by experts who raised doubts over the effectiveness of the proposed structure. Those concerns echoed by coastal scientist Mike Hilton from Otago University.
I think it's highly unlikely that a groin at St Clair Beach would result in the accumulation of sand, which is the intention, of course.
Councillors, including Lee Vandervis and Bill Ackland, were keen to see quick action, while others, including Jim O'Malley and Steve Walker, saw future opportunities to debate the project in full once the new report is completed. In Dunedin, the South today.
An Otago businessman holds a rare licence to grow an infamous cash crop, but it's certainly no get-rich-quick scheme.
Co-founder of company Pure Isolation, Mike Breeze, has been monitoring his trial cannabis crop at an indoor facility near Milton. The business was one of the first to get a licence from MedSafe to grow medical marijuana in New Zealand. It's taken 3 years to set up the operation, which uses hydroponics, grow lamps and specially selected plant seeds direct from Amsterdam.
From humble beginnings, we've done a lot of hard work and created a lot of research. We're now around 8 generations in with some of our preferred strains, working hard on improving our genetics and creating some world-class processes.
Breeze believes consistency is key when growing for the medical market. He's hoping to have his first crop certified and ready for sale next year. In South Otago, the South Today.
A budding community gardening initiative in Invercargill has suffered another setback with a second attack on their trees by mystery vandals.
Newly planted fruit trees at this community orchard have been stolen for a second time in as many months. The Invercargill volunteers behind the project in Macquarie Park say they're heartbroken by the senseless vandalism.
There's more than a little bit of damage. It's absolutely devastating. Every tree that we have planted has gone.
The group says repeatedly having to replant trees represents an investment of community time and money, and the thieves are only stealing from themselves. The long-term goal of the project is to create a shared resource for the community, providing free fruit at a time of rising grocery costs.
The ultimate goal is for there to be a huge orchard that stretches from here all the way down to the back of the park with hopefully hundreds of thousands of kilograms of fruit being produced every year.
The future of the community project's now in doubt, with a meeting planned with volunteers tomorrow to discuss their next steps. In Invercargill, the South Today.
It's been a decade in the making, but children at Cromwell Primary School finally have a new hall. The multi-purpose space will assist with the growing school and is being welcomed by the community.
Central Otago Mayor Tim Cadogan cutting the ribbon to officially open the new hall at Cromwell Primary School. He told the children the opening function was a step up from his very first ribbon cutting job as mayor.
I've been mayor for 6 years and I get to do this all the time. And the first thing that I ever opened and cut the ribbon on was a toilet.
School Principal Matthew McCormick says the hall was the latest in a series of builds addressing the school's rapidly growing role. He admits the new multi-purpose building has been a long time coming.
Well, today's a really special occasion because for about 10 long years now we've been, as a community, been working towards a vision of building a multi-purpose facility, a real world-class facility.
Traditional waiata and haka featured as part of the ceremony, followed by an instrumental version of a Nirvana rock song. The role at Cromwell Primary is knocking on the door of 400 pupils. McCormick says the new addition means they have space to develop the performing arts, along with other uses for both the school and wider community. In Cromwell, the South Today.
Whai Yakane still to come on the South Today. Locals in Kaitangata rev it up a gear and burn rubber at a huge car event. And Dunedin skateboarders hit the half pipe in Fairfield after a huge refurb.
All new episodes of Put Some Colour in Your Life are now screening on Channel 39. Take a look at Australian artists and the techniques they use in their studio. Put Some Colour in Your Life, Tuesdays, 7:30.
Hi, Lindsay here from Alex Campbell Menswear. We've opened another pop-up store in Invercargill. It's for a limited time. We're in D Street, 201, right beside the Lone Star. Come and check us out. We've got some fantastic deals for you. We've got moleskins, we've got every sort of shirt, worn ones, work ones, business, merino knitwear, jeans, trousers, you name it, the list goes on. It's such a big deal. Come and see us.
Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Alex Campbell Menswear, pop-up store, D Street, Invercargill.
Hi, we're Age Concern Otago.
Age Concern Otago hosts a multitude of social activities, including indoor walks.
Hi, my name's Matt and I'm the Dines Group CEO. Dines is a company that's focused on selling logistics solutions to its customers. We're passionate about selling efficiency and we've been selling efficiency for over 50 years now.
Tēnā koe, welcome back. The Kaitangata Rugby Club reverberated with the sound of V8 engines as car collectors and petrol heads alike gathered for the annual Kai Car Show and Run. The event drew a huge turnout, and with 600 cars, utes and bikes on show, there was something for all tastes.
From obscure collector's items through to iconic rides, more than 600 vintage, classic and enthusiast vehicles turned out for the 10th anniversary Kaitangata Car Show and Run. Among the hot rods, muscle cars and modern classics making the run from Kaitangata to Beaumont were a few rarities, including this obscure American beauty.
So this is our 1958 Ford Edsel Citation. It was the top of the line in the Edsels at the time, and Edsel is Henry Ford's eldest son.
The luxury model Ford includes some quirky design features from the atomic age.
Comes out with the electric seats, the compass in the speedometer, the push button gears, and it's a really good cruiser.
Another vehicle turning heads was this A-Team themed Chevy van, and to keep crowds entertained while they checked out the array of motoring history, there was a selection of live music and plenty of hot food on offer. In Kaitangata, the South today.
Dunedin skateboarders are riding high after the skate park in Fairfield was given a major overhaul. These skateboarders were relishing testing out the new half-pipes on offer, recently installed by the Dunedin City Council. The upgrade cost $300,000. The new ramps are larger and designed for both beginner and veteran skateboarders. Fairfield's refurbished skate park is part of the council's aim to improve playgrounds across the city. The DCC is currently seeking feedback on its plans for an upgrade at the Mornington skate park. And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South today. Thousands flocked to Christchurch's Addington Raceway for the full return of New Zealand Cup Day events. Dunedin's newly elected City Council has voted to take a fresh look at reinstating a wooden groin at St Clair Beach. And frustration for Invercargill volunteers after trees are uprooted at a budding community garden for the second time in months. And now a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT, and we welcome the editor, Barry Stewart. Hello, Barry.
Hello, Hannah.
And what can we expect in your paper tomorrow?
Well, quite a sad story. A Central Otago woman who lost a breast to cancer, despite being reassured that she was disease-free, fears other women could suffer the same fate as her. So she's really putting out there that the message that there are concerns. And I was going to talk about the reinstating the groins at St Clair, but you've touched on that, so,
but you can look at it
so
more.
I won't. But we'll do it in more detail.
Thank you.
A planned 10k speed limit for George Street in Dunedin has been questioned.
Right.
I know when they did that initially, people wondered how you could actually drive at 10k's, but that's the debate that is being questioned.
Okay.
And issues at the bus hub with cruise ship passengers.
Yeah.
There were tears because a child didn't find a seat on the bus. So concerns about that. There was a whole range of cruise ship passengers on board. But the good news was a bus turned up shortly afterwards. So,
good.
But they didn't know it was arriving.
Bit to look at there though.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Barry.
All right.
And time now for a look at the weather.
The South Today weather, proudly brought to you by MoleMap, the skin cancer detection specialists.
Looking at the situation, cold southwesterly airflow arrives tomorrow as a high pressure ridge pushes onto the South Island from the Tasman Sea. Heading to the top of the South Island, well, fine with light winds tomorrow, up to 23 in Nelson, cloudy with 20 in southerlies and Greymouth, and late showers with northerlies and 24 in the middle of Cup and Show Week in Christchurch. Travelling to South Canterbury and North Otago now. Southwesterlies and cloudy with the chance of showers through here. 24 for Ashburton, 23 in Timaru, and fresh winds in Oamaru. Still warm though with 21 degrees. Westwards now to the Central Lakes. All lovely and fine through here tomorrow with some very light southeasterlies and cloud. Wanaka heads for 20, 19 in Queenstown and Alexandra. Heading further south, fresh southwesterlies and some cloud through here, 15 on the way for Balclutha and Gore, while the Catlins can expect a spot of rain and a high of 14 degrees. Now down to the deep south. Mostly cloudy tonight in Invercargill, down to 9 as the low. Cloudy and showery tomorrow morning with a sunny afternoon, up to 14. And the sunshine comes out again on Thursday for a fine day with light winds and the high 18 degrees. And lastly, heading to Dunedin. Fine tonight with northerlies dropping to 10 degrees. Then it's mostly fine and sunny tomorrow with some wind and low cloud at times, along with a warm high of 21. And into Thursday, the southwesterly winds should die out before a clear sunny day and up to 15 as the high. And that's the news this Tuesday. For the latest news and videos from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz. And you can follow Channel 39 on YouTube to catch our news bulletins on demand. We'll see you again tomorrow. Ka kite ya popo.
Public interest journalism funded through New Zealand On Air.